What's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. So we had a massive revenge day yesterday. We came back extremely hard, 10-2 day. I'm going to show you all the receipts for that. I'm going to explain something very, very important. I actually went back. I was in the military, and one of the things that we did was something called an after-action review. So what I did is I said, you know what? I know I have notes on this. So I went back and I looked at my notes from last season, and this is what I found out. And that's why I was able to turn this around extremely quickly. I'm also going to show you, I talked about this live betting stuff that I've been working on, and that came through amazingly well for us yesterday as well. I'm going to talk about this in this video, and I'm also going to give you one very strong play in the NBA today. So here's the notes of the after action review that I had from last season. I'm going to get into a little bit more detail exactly on what this means. But let me show you the receipts of what happened first. And then, like I said, I do have one very strong play in the NBA and a very special offer in this video. So the reasoning behind what I just showed you, it's actually came through for us very easily yesterday. You can see the Clippers, I ended up getting early payout. What this means is that if they start demolishing the other team, I get an early payout regardless if they win or lose. I think they were up by 18 in the first quarter. So they ended up coming back. There was a lot of scoring. You can see they ended up scoring 281 points. So it was a massive shootout. And the Clippers came through very easily at the end. Then I had these two huge underdogs. You can see the Kings at a plus 22.5. They actually almost won this game. And then you had the Utah over here. They also covered the spread. So the reason I was able to have these two teams, even though I was looking at the sharp money and everything like that, was talking about the Timberwolves. It was not very basic stuff. It was very detailed. It even went against the sharps, and it ended up hitting, as you can see right there. I'm going to show you the receipts of all the wins, and then I'm also going to give you the exact reasoning how I came up with those two plays. I have one very strong one just like that today, and I'm going to explain it as clearly as I can. So stick around, because this is going to be a very informational video that can help you out for years to come. I'll take a screenshot of this. I'm not going to talk about this a lot. This is basically just very strong streaks. These are not our final plays. It's just players that have been hitting their lines consistently. So this is points, rebounds, and assists. You can pause the video, rewind it, take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. Also, if you subscribe, you'll get the alerts whenever we post these as YouTube posts. Here's the shots on goal. You can see this dude has hit 10 games in a row with this 1.5 line. I actually mentioned this guy Renzel on 2 days ago, and he's still on a hot streak right there with 9 games in a row hitting this shots on goal. Anyways, these are not our final picks. These are just strong players that have been hitting their lines consistently. Now, let me show you the receipts. Like I said, the Clippers came through very easily. It did look a little shady in the third quarter, but they ended up coming back and demolishing them, winning by 25. The Jazz ended up covering easily, and then the Kings actually almost won this game. And we had them that they could have lost by 22 points and still won the bet. That's how crazy this was. This was something I was testing in college. I don't think I threw it out anywhere. This is just some stuff that I was testing, so that hit for us. And then I ended up taking the Clippers again live because of the live betting tool that I'm going to show you. And then this was in the VIP, Kentucky and Clemson. And then the two losses was Santa Barbara and the under on the Timberwolves. This was a horrible call on my part. It was just a complete shootout. I did mention that Anthony Edwards was going to come out and shoot a lot because of the revenge game, and because Leonard was actually very good as well. He scored about 45 points, and I think Edwards scored about 33 points. So overall, this was an extremely bad call on my part, but the two losses was nothing compared to all the wins. So this is my settled account from the live betting yesterday. You can just see the March 11th and the little 1 sign, okay? So check this out, win, 1, and then it won again right there. And then this one hit, and then that one won, and then this one hit as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different bets hit on the live betting. And this is the tool that I was using. I talked about this, I think 2 days ago, where I created this tool called the line betting scanner, and basically gives you these very strong indications on where you should be looking. Now, before I get into the play, let me talk about this live betting real quick. If we get to 100 likes, I'm going to make this offer for you guys. It's a very special offer. I really don't ever come back after making this video for the day, but I'm willing to come back today. If we get 100 likes, I will come back and actually go through this live while the games are actually live. I'll come in here and place my bets as I'm shooting the video. So if we get to 100 likes, I'll take care of that. Make another video explaining how I use this tool and how it's been so profitable already. It's day 4 of this tool and it's been profitable pretty much every day. Yesterday was amazing though. All right, let me give you the explainer on what happened, what changed, not the live betting stuff, but the actual Clippers, how I was able to find that play, and then how I was able to find the Jazz and the Kings to cover those huge spreads. It was not a simple little thing like let's click this number and then just, hope for the best. It was a very strategic play. So basically this is considered, you're going to be looking at the very strong favorites, like extremely heavy favorites. I'm talking about like minus 14.5, minus 15, meaning they're supposed to win these huge spread games, but in reality, they don't even give a shit about winning. That's the strategy, okay? There's reasoning behind this. There's, for example, let's say the Pistons today, they're going against, I'm actually gonna show you the play on how I came up with it, but the reasoning behind it is you're looking for a super heavy favorite that's already locked into the playoffs, or they have a very strong position in the playoffs. So what happens in these scenarios is that they don't really care about covering the spread. All they really care about is winning the game. So if their line is like 15 points or 16 points to win, again, they don't care about that spread. They only care about winning the game. So what happens is that these young players on the other side, on these shitty teams that are tanking to have nothing to lose, they throw out their young players, like their rookies and stuff like that. And these young guys are struggling and fighting for their job to get better contracts next season. And this happens after the NBA break. After the NBA All-Star break and getting closer to the playoffs, because we're about 20 games out. I'm not going to talk about this further. I've mentioned this in several videos. But again, because of those notes that I had, the after action review from last season, I'm going to get into exactly the play. I'm going to give you the exact slip so that you can go from there, okay? So basically the play here is fading unmotivated favorites. So again, these are heavily favored teams that all they care about is winning. They don't care about covering these huge spreads because there's no reason to. They're already in the playoffs. They already have a good seed. These games really don't matter, and that's why they sit their stars. The first one that came up is the Magic, okay? So not only is the Magic here, they're supposed to win by 14 points. You can see the line actually went from 15 to 16. So it is going in the favor of the Magic. However, the Wizards actually have a one-day rest advantage, and the Magic are already top 4 in the conference for the seeding for the playoff. So the Magic, again, they're sitting very comfortable at a 36-28 record. They're actually sitting 6th in the East. Now, Wizards are completely in full tank mode right now. Orlando played yesterday. They're missing Wagner, and they want to conserve their players for the playoffs. Also, Washington has 2 very strong young stars, which is Sarr and Will Riley. They're averaging about 15 points per game. So again, they want to make a name for themselves. They want better contracts. So they're going to be out there, pushing hard. So the first leg of this is actually going to be the Wizards at a plus 25.5. That means that they can lose the game by 25 points and we still win this bet as far as this one leg. I'm going to show you the other game. But this is the reasoning on heavy favorites, not really caring about covering their spread. It's all about the playoffs, okay? That's what this, bottom line, this is what this is. And then, so the other team we're looking at is going to be the Nets, not to get blown out. I'm going to show you the exact slip after I talk about this. But the Hawks don't have it in them to blow out the Nets, okay? They're a decent team. They're 9th seed, but they just don't have it in them to blow them out. And like I said, once they start, they're finally getting their rhythm. I think they've won 4 in a row. We don't care about them winning. We just don't want them to cover the spread. So even here, you can see that they're supposed to win by, 18? The line is at 10.5. So even the numbers don't match the supposedly projected scores. Now, before I give you the second line of this parlay, you can take a screenshot. I'm going to show you the exact slip for this. Again, if we get to 100 likes, I'll come back and show the live betting stuff later today. Normally, I don't do that, but I will come back today if we get to 100 likes. Please make sure to subscribe also, and let's get right into it. So the second leg of this is going to be the Brooklyn Nets at a plus 25.5. So the Wizards at a plus 25.5 and the Nets at a plus 25.5. I think the bigger risk here is the Nets because the Hawks are still a younger team. They're still fighting for positioning and stuff like that. But I don't think the Nets. I don't think they have it in them to blow them out by this much. Again, it's not just an underdog situation. I'm just hoping and praying. I'm not doing that. This is actually backed up by strong information. Last thing I'll show you here is, again, Washington is on a one-day rest advantage. Orlando is tired, so that's going to help them cover that spread. Denver is on a back-to-back, and the Spurs are on a one-day rest advantage. The Pistons are supposed to win this. The other team I was considering doing this plus 25.5 for was the 76ers, but there was too many things like injuries and stuff like that I stayed away. Suns are supposed to win this by 4. The Magic, again, are supposed to win this by 14. The Hawks are supposed to win this by, what is this? The Hawks, again, are supposed to win. The Heat is supposed to win. Then you got the Mavericks are supposed to win over here. The Spurs are supposed to win by 6. Again, these guys have a one-day rest advantage. The Thunder is supposed to beat the Boston Celtics. And then the Lakers are supposed to blow out the Bulls. If you have any questions, please comment. I hope that made sense. I know I kind of went through a lot of stuff right there, but the overall picture, again, is to look at very strong favorites that have a very decent spot in the NBA playoffs already. And we're looking at a tanking team not to get blown out. So again, it's a motivational thing. So I hope this makes sense. If it didn't, go back and watch the video again or comment, and I'll try to explain it better. Again, if we get to 100 likes, I'm going to come back and do the live betting stuff in front of you. Thank you so much. Let's have an amazing day.